started recording. I don't know who starts it this time. If you want to take.
I think you did a. It don't matter. You did like a little update, didn't you?
Yes, I did. So
Didn't
you
you do
need to
the
take
last
this
one
one.
like it was?
Yep.
Okay. When is the last time that we did a show together? Do you know the date?
The post date here.
Yeah, when was the post date? Yeah.
Bringing that up right now. Okay. Channel. Video. Yeah, about a month ago. Podcast 18 went up 4 weeks ago.
Okay, so this is number 19 then.
Yes.
Okay.
Have our main page up. We're at 198 followers. And then I've got some information on the new backwards compatible games that are coming out for Xbox One. And then I didn't know what you wanted to. I know you wanted to cover Alzheimer's the last time we were going to do a podcast. So I'm just going to follow you on that one. I don't really have anything too big to bring up. I mean, I know a lot of stuff has happened, such as the shootings and the whole Russia threatening stuff.
Well, I guess Trump announced, I guess it was today, that he ordered a strike on Syria. So that was today.
Yep.
And then we had there was 14 murders in 36 hours in Cancun. Did you see that?
No, I did not.
Yeah, they think it's like drug cartel.
That makes sense.
So I'll probably talk a little bit about it. So I don't want to really dive really deep into the politics stuff, but I'll probably just mention it.
Well, I definitely want to make a deal about us doing the Far Cry 5 stuff and the Gears of War because we're still playing through those. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to the backwards compatible that's coming out here soon. So, all right, we'll start off and then we'll get the serious stuff out of the way, and then your Alzheimer's stuff if you still want to do that, and then we'll.
Well, that's gonna transition into our opening and stuff. So.
Okay, I'll just follow your lead on this one, because I think I took over the last one. So. Whenever you're ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to TB Talks and BS Walks. As you might have noticed, we've been out of action for about a month. Life happens, and I had a death in the family. Brian's wife has been down and out with an injury, so life gets in the way. We apologize for our absence, but nonetheless, we're back. Episode 19. We have several things to cover today as we try to get back into the swing of this thing. But first of all, the most important thing, Brian, how you been holding up, man?
Oh, well, been trying to keep busy with my wife's sprained ankle, been helping her around the house and trying to get my video editing software up so I can throw everything that we've done, everything I've done over the past 2 or 3 months, trying to get that all caught up and done, and that's been fun.
So this must have been a pretty severe sprain. Can you explain to us how that happened? I know that I got a text from you that said you were sitting in the ER with your wife, and that was all that I got. So how did it all happen?
Well, she had come to pick up some clothes to do some laundry. we live in a trailer, so we don't have any washer or dryer with us right now. And on her way out, she fell down the stairs and landed on her foot wrong. So we ended up going to the ER, and we sat there for about 6 hours. So they finally got to view her and get an x-ray and all that fun stuff. And they said they didn't see anything initially wrong, but hairline fractures are a little difficult to pick up the first time. So they told her she had to stay off her feet for about 3 or 4 weeks. And said it was a severe sprain and a tear, tendon tear. So she's pretty much laid up right now. She still tries to get around the house. She still has to do some of the things that you have to do to exist. So makes it a little difficult. And she fell again recently. So we're, concerned that it might have, retore it or something. So we're trying to keep an eye on it. But she's doing a lot better than
I know
she
you
was.
took some time. I know you took some time off work,
Yep.
to tend to her.
Yep.
So are you back in the swing of things, work-wise?
Yeah, it's about to get even more so. Two of our employees quit, so we're gonna be bumping up to 6-day weeks. So I'm gonna be busy.
Well, that's always nice.
Yep.
Yeah, that's always nice. I have been out of town myself. I was in Tulsa for 2 weeks, and then I just got back from Oklahoma City today, and I was covering routes for people that were terminated. And I'm a support guy at my job, so my job primarily is if somebody goes on vacation, any open routes, it's my job to cover.
Yeah.
So, and I'm okay with that. The thing that upsets me is when I have to go do this, spend weeks away from home because somebody got fired for stealing.
Yeah.
And I just can't get past why that people think that they can steal and get away with it. Your past will come back to haunt you.
Or why you do it in the first place? Like, you're being paid.
Exactly.
So what's the need to steal?
Exactly.
Like, what exactly is
So
in these crane machines that's worth the well, I don't know, worth the temptation, worth the possible consequences? Like, what is in the? Are you doing like the crane machines that have like the CD players and the movies and all that, or are you doing the older crane machines that have the stuffed animals? Or you cover all of them?
We do. Yeah, we cover everything. We cover
Okay.
the plush cranes. We cover high value, which is your iPods and video games, movies, things like that. And then we cover your standard video, like your big buck hunters and your Fast and Furious drifts and, your classic video games. So we cover all of that.
Yeah.
But the issue is it's all in the collection. When and I won't go too into detail about it.
Right. Don't want to give away too much.
I don't want to put the company on. No, I don't want to put the company on blast. I mean, there's no secrets or anything like that. It's just, but whenever you collect a machine has a meter, and you check the meter every time you collect it, and then you look at the price point for the game. So is it 25 cents to play? Is it 50 cents? Is it $1? Those are our primary 3 price points. 25 cents for your smaller, like beanbag plushes, 50-cent plays for, your mid-range stuff, and then $1 play for the big toy. So you take your meter when you are in front of the machine to collect it, and then you look at the previous meter from when it was last collected, and then you divide by, whatever the price point is. If it's 25-cent plays, you divide by 4, etc., etc. Right. And then that gives you the total of how much money should be in that machine. So then you have to go through and you count all the coin, and then you count the bills. And then those two totals should equal the
difference
amount of money that you came up with. Right.
Yeah.
However, if it's over or short, you have to figure out why. Could be things like a coin jam, and it's not taking any more money, but the meter's clicked over, things of that nature. So primarily what happens when people tend to try to steal money from the company is anytime there's an overage in one of those machines,
They
they
pocket
just
it.
don't document it, and they just right, exactly. And so that's what, and they may get away with that for a month. First few times that they do that, it's pretty easy to get away with only because, you know, you can chalk up anything to a machine being over, coin jam, something not working right. So I mean, you can write
Yeah.
anything down on your log, and first couple of times they're not going to think anything about it because that stuff happens anytime you're dealing with electronics. They have a mind of their own and things happen.
Yeah.
But, the more that this continues to happen, it starts raising red flags and they start auditing your deposits.
Ooh.
And so it will all come out in the wash eventually.
Yep.
We even had a guy who got terminated who will remain nameless, but he got terminated. Um, he would do it at the bank. He would go to the bank anytime there was an overage. He wouldn't take it directly out of the machine. He would go ahead and document everything. Well, then if there was an overage, the bank would just give him the difference personally and just hand it to him and he'd pocket it. So he was doing it at the bank. And I mean, the bank's not going to know any different. The bank does what you tell them. So we had that happen. One guy that we lost during his LP interview, which is loss prevention, I overheard some of the conversation. They do it all over the phone because our corporate office is in Colorado.
Yeah.
So obviously we're in Missouri. So they do the LP interview over the phone. And I mean, they had documentation. They had him on video at Walmart. They had obviously all of his logs from his deposits. I mean, they had all that stuff, and this had accumulated over time. And so they put two and two together and realized that, something's wrong.
Yeah.
This is not just standard machine defects. Uh, they were one machine was $300 short.
Whoa.
And so when you're $300 short, obviously there's something wrong.
Obviously.
10, $12, something like that. They don't think too much about because, like I said, that happens.
Yeah.
But so I overheard him in the LP interview, and they asked him. They said, we have you on video. We know that you did it. We just want to know why. And his response was, well, I'm going through a divorce, and I needed money for a deposit on an apartment. And her response was, well, that's the reason that you get a paycheck. Like, this is how this works.
Yeah.
And he said, well, I needed it like that day. Like, I got kicked out. I needed it that day, and that was the only option that I had. So he just took $300 out of the machine and went and paid his deposit. So now, in turn, he has to pay the company back for that money, and he was terminated. So he lost the job and has to pay. So, my friends, your past will find you out.
Yep.
So I've been down covering those open routes, and it's just kind of a pain because I have to do it for that reason. It's not because somebody was on vacation
or sick or family emergency.
But, correct.
Oh, man.
Family emergency. Speaking of, I lost my grandfather. What is it? 2 weeks ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago. It was Good Friday. So
Kind
the
of
Friday
ironic.
before Easter. Yep. We lost him, and he had Alzheimer's. He battled Alzheimer's for 4 to 5 years, was when it really got bad. But the onsets of dementia came, a couple years prior to that, which is kind of what I wanted to cover on the show today. Just a little bit about it. Alzheimer's is a confusing, afflicting disease. And I don't know if any of you know someone, or you may have someone in your family that suffers from Alzheimer's or has suffered from it. And it is a very, very complex thing to deal with. Your dog is really upset. He is getting with it in the background.
If you hadn't said anything, nobody would have known.
I couldn't help it, man. It's all right. We can edit that out.
Oh,
For those VIP listeners though, they get the full deal, man. We don't get edits. They get the uncut raw version.
Oh yeah, it's just I went through work where the only reason you hear it is because we're talking over Xbox. but the recording is only picking up your voice from my computer and
I
my
got you.
voice through my
I
mic,
got you.
and it was already muted. So, like, if
No
I could just
worries.
hold out, maybe he won't say anything.
I shouldn't have said anything.
Oh.
No big deal. Anyways, back on
Yep.
track. So,
Yep.
if any of you have suffered from Alzheimer's or know anybody that is Alzheimer's, complex, confusing disease that it is. It started with my grandpa, his ability to play cards. My grandparents were avid card players, and they would get together one night a week with their friends and they would play cards. And they played the same card game for probably 20 years. Taught me how to play. It's called Pinochle. If you've never played it, you should learn. It's a fantastic game. And so it started, he would forget how to play. It would just kind of escape his memory. And so my grandma would have to remind him, this is how you play. And at first he realized that he was having memory problems, and it would upset him because he knew, I should know how to do this, and I am forgetting how, and so it would upset him. Obviously, as it developed from dementia into full onset Alzheimer's, he lost knowledge of anything. And towards the end of his life, he went through a spurt to where he suddenly miraculously got better. And my parents cared for him for 13 months. My grandma died February 12th of last year. And after she passed is when he really started going downhill. So my mom moved him into their house, and with the help of my wife, they tended to him for the last 13 months. And my wife would shower him, feed him, things like that. And my grandpa was one of those people that didn't know a stranger. He knew everybody, never had a bad word to say about anybody, and was a very Christian man. And that translated to fits of rage and outbreaks. I remember there were several times where he reared back like he was going to hit my wife, and then I would have to intervene and calm him down, and that just wasn't my grandpa. And so a lot of people ask me after he died, I'm sorry for your loss. I know you're grieving, and I really didn't. Most of my grieving had already been done because, from a physical standpoint, I mean, he had a physical presence here.
Mm-hmm.
And, obviously that will be missed, but mentally, I lost my grandpa several years ago.
Yeah.
And so we did a little bit of research into Alzheimer's, and the final stage, 9 times out of 10, will just hit like overnight. And the final stage is when they're bedridden. They no longer can eat. They forget how to eat. They forget how to swallow. They forget how to walk. My grandpa was struggling with walking and just getting around, but he still knew how to eat, and he could still talk. And then it was instant. Like one evening, he just shut down. Couldn't talk, forgot how to eat, wouldn't drink, and that's how he lived out, the last week or so of his life. And it's just heartbreaking to see that, because when you think of somebody that never had a bad word to say about anybody, and then they can't take care of themselves. And God bless my wife. She was an absolute miracle for our family. She's a CNA. She's obviously been in the medical field for 12 years. I mean, ever since I've known her.
Yeah.
And so played a critical role in taking care of him. And it's just a very confusing thing. And we've all tried to wrap our minds around it as to how the disease works and how it affects your brain and the chemicals in your brain, with the imbalances and all of those things. And so I just kind of wanted to talk about it. It's a very, very confusing thing. And I feel for anybody that has to go through that. I told my wife, if I ever get to that point, just take me out and shoot me. I'm not gonna know it anyways. You know what I mean? I mean and obviously
Excuse me.
everything about my grandfather's passing was a positive because he had no quality of life here.
Yeah.
So, it's a very complex thing. If anybody has uh, any stories that they would like to share, if you know somebody that has suffered from Alzheimer's, drop it in our comments. I'd even be willing to bring you on the show and talk to you about it.
Yeah.
Because I know it seems that there's a common denominator in all of these cases, and although they may differ, essentially in the end they're all the same. It's just the way that it affects everybody, and I don't know, it's very, very confusing to
Yep.
me. But I won't bring the show down any longer. I just kind of wanted to cover that, and maybe that will kind of help explain to our listeners too the reason that both of us have been out of action for some
Yeah.
time.
And sorry
Um,
for your loss. I know it's a rough one.
you know, I appreciate that, but it always bothers me when people say that. And I know that that's the respectful, polite thing to say because you don't really know what to say to somebody when they lose a loved one. And there's nothing, obviously, that we can say to make the situation any better.
Mm-hmm.
But, when someone says, I'm sorry for your loss, two things come to mind for me. First one is, you're not nearly as sorry as I am. And secondly, are you really sorry? You know, especially to people that I don't know on a personal level,
Yeah.
that I saw in line at my grandpa's visitation, you know, I mean, I could count it, every person that came by. Sorry for your
Yep.
loss. Sorry for your loss. And you know, that just always bothered me. I don't know why, but that phrase always bothered me. And then the one that really bothers me is when they say, well, I know that your grandpa's looking down on you right now, and he'd be very proud of the way that things have turned out, or the man you've become. And although I appreciate the sentiment,
Mm-hmm.
I can't find any scripture that says that that's true.
Yeah.
If you're a believer, what does the Bible say? The Bible says that there will be no sorrow in heaven. So I know my grandpa's in heaven. I have no doubt about that. He made
Mm-hmm.
preparation for that when he was 16. But if there's truly no sorrow in heaven, why on earth would he be looking down here at this terrible, corrupted world that wouldn't be happy?
Yep.
So I appreciate the sentiment when people say that, but
Yeah.
if you can find scripture that says that that's true, feel free to share it with me because I
Yeah.
sure can't.
I
And
lost my
if we have
grandfather
people
not too
listen to
long
this,
ago, but even I'm in the point where I'm like, I hope he's not looking down on me. I make some stupid decisions. Like, how about he just be
exactly,
up there and happy? Like,
exactly,
he don't have to look on me. That's embarrassing to me.
exactly, exactly. I mean, he may wear a toga and play a harp like on Looney Tunes, but I just think that he probably has more important things to do, like worship the living God, than stare at us all the time. You know
Yep.
what I mean? And if you listen to the show and you're not a believer, then you probably don't believe anything that I just said, and that's your right. So, moving on,
Yep.
before I let you kind of go into gaming, and I know there's some backwards compatibility things that you're wanting
Yep.
to
Yep.
talk
Yep.
about. I'm anxious to hear
Excited
about those
for.
things.
Yeah.
Um, there is a couple things I just want to cover real quickly. Today, Donald Trump launched an attack on Syria in response to the so-called chemical attack.
Right.
So who knows what's going to happen with that? I don't want to dive into it, but just current world news that's happening. I got pinged on my phone today, and so I
Yep.
was reading it. Um, Another thing is the popular tourist destination in Cancun, Mexico, has had 14 murders in 36 hours. I believe the first one was around April 2nd. And from April 2nd for the next day and a half, there were 14 murders, all on this resort where, you know, 2.4 million people visit every year.
Not Hard
Probably
Rock
more than
Cafe.
that.
Not the Hard Rock Hotel
However,
Casino.
I don't know which one it was. It didn't say. It just
I
said
don't
it
think
was
Hard Rock is
a
actually
popular
there. It's just
tourist.
the only tourist location I know of. I'm horrible.
They didn't say where. They just said that it was the popular tourist resort in Cancun. They're suspecting it is all drug involved. You know, there's a huge drug
Yeah.
cartel in Mexico, and they've had issues with that for some time. So, um, our condolences go out to the families and the victims of Cancun. They have not issued a do not fly notice yet to that destination. I know there was one at the time. I don't know how long ago it was, on a different island
Mm-hmm.
that they noted as a do not fly due to some murders that they had. They have not listed that for Cancun yet. However, if it were me, I probably would just avoid it.
Yeah, just you can skip vacation this year. It's okay. There's always next year at Cancun.
It's fairly cheap to fly to there, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Which I think is why a lot of people go, because you can go there for relatively cheap.
Or you could always go to Belize.
But I would
Own property in Belize.
We thought about that. The wife and I were looking at vacations and cruises to take this year.
Yeah.
Although due to some unexpected financial issues, we're probably not going to get to go this year. But we
Understand that.
we looked at Belize. You know, we were contemplating between Belize and Jamaica were the two big ones.
Woohoo.
And so, but then I have a cousin whose husband was in military. I believe it was National Guard, and he went to Jamaica
Yep.
and was telling us that, if you go, as long as you stay on the resort, you're fine, but just don't venture out into other parts of the island because they don't like Americans. And
Oh, that's
so
nice.
when whenever we heard that, my wife was like, I don't think we're going to go to Jamaica.
Kind of defeats the purpose,
So
don't it, of going
happy,
somewhere new?
yeah, exactly. So that's just a couple of trending world events going on right now. I know that you want to get into this backwards compatibility gaming section, so
Well,
I will let you take the reins from that and
okay.
tell us all about it.
Well, first, I really think we need to do the drawing. Axion Solzler was our winner
Yes.
about a month ago when we did the drawing. And unfortunately, we never heard back from Axion. So we're doing another drawing today, unfortunately. I'm not going to bring it up and show you all. We're just going to do the drawing real quick. And as you saw, the
Just
system was
close your
really,
eyes.
really simple last time. I'm using that same system. I'm just putting in our tag, our Twitter account, and it's going to pick a winner from there. And we have Kelly Rose Vale. See here, Kelly Rose Vale.
Kelly Rose Vale.
Mm-hmm.
Come on down.
Let's see. I am looking over here. Let's see. What do we got? What do we got? I'm assuming this is
Kelly
a real person. I'm assuming. Well, I think
Okay.
Axion was a real person. I just don't know if he understood what I sent in the message because I didn't understand anything on his Twitter. I think we have a language barrier there, and neither one of us could get past it. So, Kelly Rose Vale
Right.
looks like a real person.
Is Kelly female?
Yes, she is. She joined as of November 2017.
She's new to the Twitter.
Yes, she is.
How many followers?
Looking at 10 followers. I hate being so suspicious, but the people that come up on Twitter, and I get follows on my Twitter all the time for my gaming channel, and all of them have just became a channel that day, and normally the pictures are not something I would recommend anybody look at, unless you're single. and then even then, that's kind of a moral issue you have to deal with yourself. But
I think Twitter's full of spam.
yep. So
I'll
I don't
scroll
know.
through the
I will
feed
send
and
a message to Kelly Rosevale, and if we do not receive
Rosevale, if you're
anything
listening,
by next week,
yeah,
we will redraw again until we find a real actual person who actually wants our stuff.
and as a refresher, this is for your choice of a T-shirt, a hoodie, or a hat with TB Talks BS Walks logo.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that was just rude phone. That was Twitter letting me know that Trump has done exactly what you just told us all.
There you go. I know we talked about this before we went live with the show, but I did some promoting for our podcast, and I will give them some love in return on our show. I'm sure that they won't listen to it, but I'll give them some love anyways. For those of you that subscribe to Apple Podcasts or Spotify, Google Play, wherever you get your podcasts, check out Dude Comedy Podcast. 4 guys shoot the shit, and it's pretty entertaining. And they sent a link out to all of the Twitter followers, and it was an option to join their show via a live video feed. So I decided to join, being inquisitive, and because I listen to the show regularly, and so I was able to talk to them for about 10 minutes, and I promoted the show. So I will send them some love in return. If you listen to this show, go check out Dude Comedy Podcast. Send them a tweet, let them know that you heard about it from our show, and maybe, just maybe, we can collab with them sometime. It'd be kind of fun. They're a good group of guys.
Sounds fun, at least.
so Kelly, make sure that you, when Brian sends you the DM, make sure that you respond and tell us out of those 3, T-shirt, hoodie, or hat, which one you'd like, and a size, and a place where we can send it.
I am actually messaging her right now, hence the slight silence there.
All right. Okay. Something else I was going to say, and I just lost my train of thought. I hate it when that happens. I was going to talk about, you heard about the deal with Zuckerberg, didn't you?
Oh, with the Facebook and the privacy, and now we have to pay for our privacy on Facebook, and yeah, I heard.
Right.
I mean, that's what we get for not reading the fine print. Again.
Here's the thing, though, man. If you don't want data being collected, then deactivate your Facebook. Stay off the internet. Pretty simple.
Well, to an extent. I mean, nobody wants their privacy invaded. They just didn't realize they were signing it away when they signed up for Facebook, because none of us read the fine print.
And here's the thing, too, though. I just think people don't understand that your cell phone is tracking more things about you than probably Facebook ever will. I saw a deal where I haven't actually done it for myself, but I saw a web page where this individual had taken their cell phone, laid it down next to their TV, and turned their TV to a Spanish channel.
Mm-hmm.
And they started receiving ads in Spanish on their phone after that. So, I think that our phones are invading our privacy every day. People can listen into your conversations all the time. So I think in our own house right now, as my phone is sitting on my bed, they can probably hear everything I'm saying. So, as long as they're not giving away my address, my social security number, it's whatever.
Oh,
it's your decision to be on Facebook.
How many people shut their phones off at night? I just plug mine in to charge it at night. I don't even shut it
Exactly.
off. It is
Exactly.
on 24/7.
Exactly. Right.
It's crazy.
So that's what I'm saying, though. You know, it's strictly your choice to be on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, or whatever other social media platform that you use.
Mm-hmm.
So all this stuff is in the fine print, I'm sure.
Yeah.
We just don't read it exactly as you said because we're lazy.
No, it's a lot of information. I mean, who wants to sit there for 45 minutes reading something just to find out what they were really looking for is like at the end, which is why they put it like either in the middle or at the end.
Here's my question, though. They're putting Zuckerberg on blast for Facebook. What about the guys that run Google? The guys that run Google.
I think this is what's going to be deciding.
Facebook ever does.
I think this is what's going to be deciding a lot of that. Because if it happens with Zuckerberg,
you think so?
Yeah, well, I think it's going to come out because he's already been blasted for freedom of speech, because they will censor certain people who don't align with their political agendas. So he's already been, put on blast for that. So if this goes the way that the courts want it to go, and that the people who are, talking to him through these court processions, if it goes the way they want it to go, well then yeah, Google, YouTube, Twitter, all of that's next, because they do the same thing. It's just Zuckerberg was the largest of the social media. Once that's done, well then it's going to probably either, go on to YouTube or Twitter, because Twitter does every now and then it's been said that Twitter does the shadow bans, where they'll, you suddenly aren't following anybody, nobody's following you, you're still on Twitter, but there's no updates of when you do anything. You can tweet whatever you want, but there's nothing out there. And they do it to lower, like if we were to do something, it's a possibility that they could do that to us, where we lose all our followers and we stop following people and nobody sees when we put new stuff up or take new stuff, So they've been doing that, and so that's a kind of a violation of freedom of speech, same as YouTube. If you don't follow along certain political guidelines, or you aren't open to, like, we're pretty laid back, so I don't think we have a problem yet. But if we got to the point where we were really pushing political buttons and stuff like that, if we didn't fall in line with what they think we should, they could block us. There's been an advertiser who wants to pay YouTube to put their ads on YouTube, and have been denied for the longest time because they don't align with the political, don't align with the political affiliations of YouTube, and they took them to court. And now you can see, like, it's like DeVry University or something like that. Not DeVry. What is it? It's a university, but they're pretty far right, and they were being blocked from putting their ads on YouTube for the longest time, and they took them to court, and now you can see their ads on YouTube, but it's only certain ones. So I'm wondering how long before it hits them again for freedom of speech censorship. And I just see it expanding from this with Zuckerberg, if it goes the way of the courts and not Zuckerberg.
Maybe that could change the internets all the way around. Internets might change.
Yeah. Might get a little stricter, more complicated, but safer. Maybe.
Right.
As safe as internet can be. All right. Let's get this. I'm excited for this next bit.
Yeah.
I am.
You got Kelly squared away, so Kelly,
yes.
Check your DMs.
Yep. Let us know. We'll get the shirt or whatever out that way. Please be a real person and not use our shirt to start a porn or anything. Anyway, moving on. Be a real person. Sorry, it's horrible.
Is that a problem? Is that a problem if we saw our merchandise on Pornhub? I didn't know that.
Well, if we saw it, it might be a problem. If we saw it. Like if somebody else messaged us that they saw it, then okay. True. But if one of us goes, you know what? I was on Pornhub the other day, and our shirt. Yeah, no, I don't think that's right. All right.
You're probably gonna question me, but not nearly as much as my wife.
Yeah, no. All right, so for the backwards compatibility, Brian's moment. We all know I love Brian's moment because it's all video games, and that's my hobby. That's what I love doing.
BM with
Anyway,
no medication required.
yes, yes. So we are looking at the new backwards compatible games that are coming out this month in April, and I'm so excited because the first bit has one of my favorite games in it. The first release of games has one of my favorites in it, and the list is we have Blinks the Time Sweeper, we have Breakdown, we have Conquer Live and Reloaded, The Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, we have Hunter the Reckoning, Jade Empire, which is one of my favorite games, Panzer Dragoon Orta, and SSX 3, which is the snowboarding game. That's coming out April 17th. And the only reason I'm excited about that group is Jade Empire. Love Jade Empire. Have been waiting for it to come backwards compatible since the Xbox One came out. Awesome, awesome game. Made by the same people who did Mass Effect, Dragon Age, and the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republics. Made by BioWare. Awesome, awesome game. Yeah, storyline is great. Love it. It's all martial arts based too. So it's like a rock, paper, scissors type of martial arts combat, but it's so much fun. I will be streaming that almost as soon as it comes out, just so you guys get a hint of what's going on. I may not do the whole story, but just kind of give a, hey, look at this game. You need to go buy it now. Go, shoo. Okay, now, coming out April 26th. This is the big one. This one has a lot of good games that I'm so looking forward to, and all Star Wars based. So, really excited about this one. So, on the 26th, we have Destroy All Humans. We have Full Spectrum Warrior. We have Mercenaries, Playground of a Destruction. And if you haven't played the Mercenaries series, definitely give it a shot. It is fun. MX Unleashed, which I'm assuming that's like a motocross. Panzer Elite Action, Fields of Glory. And then here we go. Here's the Star Wars list, everybody. Star Wars Battlefront, original Xbox Classic. Star Wars Battlefront 2. Original Xbox Classic, and one of my favorite of the Battlefront series. This is what Battlefront should have been when it came to Xbox One, and it wasn't anywhere close. So, that's my
opinion. I agree.
Star Wars Jedi Knight.
I absolutely agree.
Oh, yeah. It was a good game. We have Star Wars Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy. That's a fun one. I had the second one of that one, so I don't know what this one entails. I'm looking forward to finding out, though. Star Wars Jedi Starfighter. Another good one. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, The Sith Lords. Thank God that's coming. And then, this one's the one I've been waiting for. Star Wars Republic Commando. Oh, I'm so excited for the 27th. You have no idea. I still have to wait to get the games because my son's birthday is the 29th, so I probably won't get mine till May or June timeframe. But all these are fun. Republic Commando is where you play as one of 4 commando units, and you're a clone, but you're a advanced clone. Yes, this was for the Xbox Classic.
Okay.
Well, actually, I think all the ones
I didn't recognize
were
that game.
Xbox Classic.
Oh
wow. Okay, so you know how there was SWAT 3, SWAT 2, or the SWAT series on PC?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like SWAT 4 and all this. This is like that, only Star Wars. So you can set your people to breach and clear. One of them's an explosive expert, one of them's a tech expert, one of them's a sniper, and then you're the lead, so you can do all of that. Plus, you also, have more battle options, more weapon options than they do. So it's pretty fun. You start off on Geonosis, on the Battle of the Clone Wars, and then you have like a deal out in space. The last mission, you're on Kashyyyk with the Wookiees. So, I mean, it's not as expensive as SWAT 4. Like SWAT 4, any door you can, stack up on and breach and clear and all that. On this one, it's only in spaces where you can see, like, their silhouette. So if you turn a corner and you see silhouettes behind cover and stuff, you can send one of your people over there to hold that position. Then they'll stay behind cover. And it's a pretty good system, especially for an Xbox One Classic game. It's a pretty good responsive system for that old of a console. So I'm looking forward to that one. Knights of the Old Republic 2, that will be streamed on my channel, I can guarantee you, because I have the first one that's already backwards compatible, and I'm going to be streaming that soon. Jedi Starfighter, I don't know. I didn't get too involved with that one, because anything that deals with like racing or flight, I didn't really delve too deeply into.
Do you remember the old Star Wars
Pod
Pod
Racer?
Racer?
Yeah,
I
no,
think
no
it was. Yeah.
I played like 2 races on that, and I was done. Oh, I was.
Yeah, that was a great game.
I know it was fun. I won't lie. It was fun. It's just I'm horrible at racing games, so I didn't get to accomplish anything, so I didn't get to move on. That's why it frustrated me. At least on Jedi Starfighter, I went through almost the whole game. I said I didn't play it much, but when I did, it was one time I sat down and I just played, and I just kept playing and playing and playing, and then it was done. I didn't really beat the game. I don't know how far I got. It was just fun playing on certain ships, and then I don't remember how far I got on it. So I'm interested in trying to do that again. The Battlefront series, of course, I'm really excited for. That one was based off of the original Battlefield, like 1942 setup. It's all conquest. So you get in,
Dude,
you
we
pick
played
your. I
we played the
know.
shit out of Battlefield and Battlefront 2.
Yeah, you're gonna need to invest in these as well so that we can play.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I
For
don't know
sure.
if we'll play against other
Which
people, but we'll
we still
try.
have to
We'll
get
see.
through Far Cry and Gears 4.
Yep,
We're still
we
trying
are
to
playing
chunk away
through.
at those when we both have
Yep.
time.
We are playing Far Cry 5 together as well as solo. Um, I have a little bit of solo stuff on my channel, but not near as much as what we have co-op on our YouTube channel for the podcast. So definitely go to TB Talks BS Walks on YouTube, and you'll see us play through Far Cry 5 on co-op. And we have the Gears of War 4 and Gears of War 1 both posted up. We're kind of randomly going through each one and deciding what we want to play at any one time. So if you're interested in seeing what our gaming is like, check out there. It's a fun time. This month is a good one for releases.
Yeah, what I'm trying to think there was another I'm actually looking forward to State of Decay too. The first one was terrible, but the second State of Decay, it looks like they've actually redone some things, and it looks pretty good from what I've seen. I think that's a May 18th release. But I'm interested in that one. Obviously, I'm interested in Red Dead Redemption 2. It's supposed to launch later this year.
Yep. October.
There was
keeping an eye on that one.
I'm also looking forward to The Walking Dead has a new game coming out made by.
Yes, it is 2018, made by 505 Industries.
I can't. There you go. Yeah. The trailer for that looked absolutely fantastic. So I'm hoping that it's better than the Telltale series.
Oh well, for one, you move your own character. Like that was a huge deal for me. Like you're not just doing it's here you move this and do this and no, this one it's all you. You are picking up the weapons, you are crafting stuff, the whole 9 yards. I caught this to be honest with you, I caught this about 3 days ago, and I saw the trailer for it. And you know me, I'm not one for
fantastic?
Like. Oh yes, it looks great. I don't have a lot of zombie based games. I have a few, and they're fun. And for people who've seen me play Dying Light, you've heard me scream like a little girl. But that one I think would be worth it.
I have been trekking through Sea of Thieves. I'm playing it for free right now. I did the 30-day free trial of the Game Pass, which allowed me to download Sea of Thieves for free. I don't think it's worth $60. I've been trying to decide that in the last couple weeks I've been playing. We have had a lot of fun. It's definitely one of those games that I don't think I would enjoy at all playing by myself. Definitely meant for, a party, a group of friends. But have been having some fun with it. There's just not a lot to do. I mean, once you have 3 different voyage types. You've got, a gold hoarder where you just go find a treasure. You've got, where you order the souls, I believe it is, where you go find some like enchanted skulls, and you have different bosses you have to fight. And then you have just your merchant voyages where you might have to go, capture a chicken or a pig and then go sell it. Yeah. Other than that, once you've done those 3 things, like you've really done everything there is to do, other than the combat between ships. But I I don't know if it's worth $60. I think if they drop it down to like 20, $30, I might pick it up. But I think once my 30-day trial of the Game Pass runs out, they probably won't touch that one unless they update some stuff. The one thing I will say about it, if nobody's played it, they did a fantastic job with the water. I've never
Yeah, I've
seen
seen some
water
of
in
that.
any game look any more realistic than the water in Sea of Thieves. That was the one thing where I mean, totally get an A plus. The water, and then if you're in a storm and it's raining so hard you literally can't see in front of you and you're having to bail water off your ship, that's a pretty cool feeling. That's a pretty cool experience. But just content, they just have an extreme lack of content.
Yeah. Which, I mean, it's only in its preview or beta mode, so hopefully once it reaches full completion, it'll be, primo. It'll have a lot more to do.
I mean, if you like pirate games, it's yeah. If you like pirate games, it's definitely piratey for sure.
I'm out of the new ones that
Um,
are multiplayer that are out right now. That one I'm tempted.
it's yeah. I thought about texting you the other day, seeing if you had it, but it said it's one of those where if you don't have the Game Pass, that's not worth $60. But if you got a Game Pass and want to download for free and try it, it's definitely worth picking up for a couple hours with a buddy and
Yeah.
trying to get some treasure and sink some ships. So, anything else on the game spectrum I should be aware of?
Uh, Not really. I mean, as far as like streaming goes, I'm hoping we find some more time to do it, especially now that my editing software has sped up. It used to take me, like I said, it used to take me anywhere between 4 and 6 hours to edit a 2 hour video. And that's just like what we do here is just audio. It's just a picture over audio. And it would still take me anywhere
Right.
between 3 and 4 hours to edit it to any decent level. And I had like 28 to 30 some odd videos that were backlogged. And it was taking me forever to edit because I'd do a 2 hour Batman video, and that would take me anywhere between 6 and 10 hours to edit. So it was just taking forever. And in the past 3 days, since this update, I don't know what they did, but in the past 3 days, I have edited everything. I've gotten all my videos backlogged and edited. Granted, they're not edited to the point I would like them, but they're at least caught up to where now any new videos we do, I can take the time and actually use that 4 hours to actually edit it the way I like, instead of waiting 30 minutes for a scene to cut just so I can make it a video for later. So yeah, things have gone a lot quicker. So I'm hoping to stream a lot more. I'm hoping to be available to stream a lot more than I was. And I'm hoping we're able to play some more multiplayer stuff, especially with Ghost Recon Wildlands. I don't know if you saw, but they had a Splinter Cell update. This is something else I wanted to mention. I'm a huge Splinter
I have
Cell
not seen
fan.
that.
Oh, I love Splinter Cell. Love Splinter Cell. I'm right now I'm mad because they don't have Blacklist or Chaos Theory on the Xbox
Yep.
One backwards compatible list. I'm hoping they're going to do like a huge
Yep.
release when the 2000, if there is one, the 2018 Splinter Cell. There has been rumors of one. There has been a leak on Amazon released. They accidentally put up they say they accidentally put up a listing for Splinter Cell 2018, and they quickly retracted it and pulled it off Amazon, but not fast enough for Splinter Cell fans who are
Which
looking.
one did we play? Which one did you and I play together co-op? Man, that game was a blast. Was it
Do you
Chaos
still
Theory
have
that we
it?
played?
Well, if it was played on the
No.
Xbox One, it would have been Conviction.
No, we didn't play any on Xbox One. I think this was like 360.
Oh, so this
Was
was
it
way back when.
Chaos? Was it Chaos? Yeah, was it Chaos Theory that we played? There was one Splinter Cell I know that we played, and it was
Were
we
we
played
able
it
to
co-op.
mark characters with a little red arrow while we
I
played?
believe so. Yes, that sounds
Then
familiar.
that was
I
Conviction.
believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, that was Conviction
Was it?
because
Okay, maybe
Blacklist
it was.
came out. I think
Maybe it was.
Blacklist came out after I moved here, so I'm not sure on that.
Well,
I'll
I
have to double check.
know. Well, I don't know, man, but I know that game was a blast though. It
Well,
was
I'll tell you
super
what.
fun.
You pull out your 360 and find Blacklist, and you and I will stream Splinter Cell Blacklist. Or, if you want,
I don't
find
even own a 360
Splinter
anymore,
Cell.
dude.
Oh, Well, we'll find Splinter Cell Conviction. Splinter Cell Conviction is on Xbox One, backwards compatibility. It is the only Splinter Cell.
Okay.
And that one is co-op as well, but it's before Blacklist, so it won't be as smooth as Blacklist was. But it'll still be fun. I've been waiting for somebody to play with on Splinter Cell. Oh,
I'd be interested in streaming that again. That was great.
Splinter Cell is a quick game. Is it? Oh, so good.
Well, before you get into the Splinter Cell update for Wildlands, couple of things to touch on. I had like 7 games that had an update on my Xbox, and I was out of town, so I had my Xbox in the hotel. So normally I have my stuff set to auto update, so I don't ever have to wait for an update to download. Since I was out of town, like all of these updates came in at the same time. Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Yep.
There was one for Fortnite, Rocket League, Call of Duty World War II. So the internet in the hotel was terrible, and I didn't want to wait. Well, I'll literally be sitting here all night waiting for them to download. So I just, instead of pausing them all, I just went to cancel all to clear the queue. Apparently, when you do that, it uninstalls the entire game. So now I have to reinstall all of those games.
Ew.
Yeah, so that's I'm currently, as we're recording the show, trying to reinstall some of those. But to Wildlands, the Predator expansion, I guess, was finally free now, and
but it was always free, but it was seasonal.
Times. Oh, maybe that was it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I have tried and tried and tried on the easiest difficulty to beat Predator and cannot do it.
Yeah.
Have you tried it?
No, when the Predator was first announced to be released, I was excited and everything, but I didn't have Wildlands up to date, and I don't have any of the DLC. I kind of put Wildlands on a back burner for a while.
I don't have any of the DLC either.
Yeah,
I don't have any of the DLC either.
So, so I haven't really played it, and all the people I used to play with don't want to play campaign anymore. They all play multiplayer, so I've been just blowing it off.
I would definitely be interested in trying to beat Predator, because if you beat him, you get the Predator mask, which is completely cool.
Yep. But the Predator.
But
I saw the gameplay for him, and the people who played, it was one of those. You had to wait for sound cues, and you had to hide most of the time, and you only get a few shots off between every visible attack. And
it's pretty terrible, dude.
Yeah.
It's pretty terrible, and I thought it would be easier playing with somebody, but I think it might be actually easier doing it solo. I don't know, because you've got, your other compadres, and just more people to take the focus off of you. But dude, I've tried it both ways, and I just get wrecked. So I've rage quit a lot in the last little while trying.
Well, he's like the Yeti, the Yeti event with there's a Yeti you can come across, and you have to find certain things that are hidden. It's a lot easier if you're going to YouTube and getting the information. But a Yeti one shot kills you.
Yeah.
And when you finally take out the Yeti, you find out it's just a guy in a white what do they call it? Ghillie suit that was shooting you with a sniper rifle. It's just the bullets happen to look like fish, I guess. I don't know. It's weird. But you spend all this time fighting a Yeti long distance trying to take it out, and the whole time he's throwing fish at you that can one-shot kill you. And then when you finally get to the area where you shot him and killed him, it's a guy in a white ghillie suit with a high-powered sniper rifle that apparently shoots fish. I don't know. It was weird. But yeah, I'm interested in playing Wildlands, especially right now. They have 36 days, I think it was, left on the Splinter Cell event, which I guess is going to be a seasonal thing as well. They brought Michael Ironside back as the voice of Sam Fisher, and it's a 3-part deal, which I made it to the second part by myself, but my AI teammates wouldn't stack up on me like I wanted them to. They got glitched out and stuck on a wall, so I had just one AI character helping me, and I just got swarmed, so I couldn't do it by myself. And then once I died, it made me restart from the beginning, which was difficult as it was, because The first part, you have to sneak all the way to Sam Fisher without killing anyone. You can't kill a single person. Then, when you get to Sam Fisher, he sets off an alarm on purpose because he has to download some data that's been stolen and all this, and there's no choice. An alarm has to go off. So then you have to sit there and cover him. Yep.
Zuckerberg did it.
Yeah. So you have to cover him while he's getting this information, and he's at the top of this building. And yeah, it was just nonstop getting people running in and attacking me, so I didn't stand a chance. And it made me restart. Now the third part of this is you have to escape to a extraction point with Sam Fisher. So you got to fight your way out of this area and extract with Sam Fisher. So the whole thing is really difficult. And if you go down once, it makes you restart from the very beginning, where you have to sneak back in and do all of that. Yeah, so I tried it once by myself, and I was doing pretty good. And then once my AI characters glitched out, I couldn't do anything. But it's another event, kind of like the Yeti and the Predator. So,
well, we've got some games we need to stream for sure.
Especially some of the backwards compatible that are coming. Oh,
well, so Battlefield I'm gonna do my homework, and I'm gonna try to go pick up Splinter Cell Conviction, and I'll definitely be trying to pick up Battlefront and Battlefront 2. Mm-hmm. But I think we're about out of time. We've had what are we at? An hour? Pretty close.
Well, for those who are watching the unedited, yes, they will be at about an hour. For those who are watching the edited that I put up, it'll probably be about 40 minutes or so. But still, that's a lot of content.
Well, like I said, hopefully we won't be out of action for that long again. But life happens, and friends and family come first in Brian and I's life. And so, but we don't want to leave you guys out in the cold. We definitely didn't forget about you guys. So we will try to get back into our routine of doing this once a week. And Brian's wife is on the mend. So I guess that's all we have for you this time, unless you have anything else you want to cover.
No, just Kelly, be real. That's probably going to be a saying for a while. Kelly, be real.
Yep. Kelly, check your DMs. And if you're a real person, make sure you respond and get us all your information so we can send you your swag.
Mm-hmm. We've got a week from the time I sent you that message, so.
There you go. Ladies and gents, thanks so much for joining the show today. We really appreciate you guys as our Twitter continues to grow. Much love. And I guess we'll see you next time.
Yep. We'll see y'all.